to the Ghoulin Around podcast, the show where we talk about everything horror. Today we're just going to be doing a talk show. For the past few episodes we've done theme episodes, we're going to do more theme episodes in the future, but today we're just going to talk. Why not? Today I am your host, Jason Massey, and joining me is...
Joanne Massey.
And I'm Loretta Mooney.
Alright, so what's new, guys?
Not much. I finally finished the Dark Tower series, so that's great.
Like that.
They were good.
Good series. Did you do the Went Through the Keyhole also in that, or did you just do the Dark Tower series?
I just did the Dark Tower series. And then now I've downloaded Vicious because I really have been wanting to read that, so we'll see how that turns out.
Went Through the Keyhole is a pretty small book. It'd probably take you maybe a
so
day.
Vicious. Vicious is small.
But yeah, that's part of the Dark Tower series. It's actually pretty good.
Yeah, see, I didn't like when they went back and he told the story about Susan and all that.
Oh.
So then you were saying it's back when Cuthbert was around and...
It's another tale of him that he's telling Eddie and Susanna in between book 3 and 4, I think.
See, and I didn't care for that. I wanted to complete my adventure.
Yeah.
But it's still good. It's still a good book.
So how many books long is the Dark Tower series?
7.
7?
Yeah.
7.
Oh my god. How long is each book?
I've read
Long.
Long?
Yeah.
Like 40,000 pages long?
When I had you listen to it, it's like
and
that.
it's like 40 hours long
it's
just
the same,
listening
yeah.
to it?
The smallest
Oh,
one is
God.
the first one, which is the Gunslinger, and it's probably only, about 90 pages or
Yeah,
so?
it's really small,
Still.
but they just get bigger as they go
They
along.
do get
Yeah.
bigger as they go. I've read each one of those 4 times.
Oh, jeez, that's a lot of reading.
And I don't do the audiobooks like you guys.
Mhm.
I actually read the books. I have the whole series.
Oh, alright, I'll have to read those eventually. But, so you said that the Dark Tower series, it crosses over with a lot of his other
Yes.
works.
Yes.
So would you say to read his other works first before reading the
You
book, just
should.
to get all the connections?
You can, but You can
should
kind of-
read his stuff in order.
yeah.
Like how it came out or how
Mhm.
it takes place?
Yeah.
No, how it comes out. Because then that's how they kind of overlap too.
Mhm.
Because he weaves a lot of his other books and little tidbits from other books into the books as he's coming out with them. So if it's an earlier book, not a whole lot of them had that, but once you get later on, it starts weaving in the older books. So as you keep going, then it starts getting the ones that are kind of in the middle.
Oh.
So yeah, he kind of weaves them in and out of there. So
That's
it's
pretty
better to
cool.
actually go in release date for
Hmm.
his books.
I just read whatever I want.
Whatever sounds good at the
Whatever
time.
sounds good, yeah.
Yeah. And you also recommended me to read the Langoliers, I think you called it. Is that what it's called?
The
Langoliers is a short story.
It's a short
Yeah.
story
Yeah.
You
in
told me to
4
read
Past
that.
Midnight, I think, isn't it?
Is that 4 past midnight?
Or is it another? I got so many that
I
I
think
can't
it is in
remember.
4 past midnight. It
I'm
might be.
pretty
Or is it night shift or something?
I'm pretty sure it's 4 Past Midnight.
I can't remember. It's a short
I
story.
have-
Yeah.
It'll take you literally if you look at the pages and read it, actually read it, it'll probably
Mhm.
take you 20 minutes.
Yeah.
It's not
Because,
that long.
Yeah.
After I finished listening to it on the audio, it recommended me a bunch of other ones, and it also went on your queue that you've read before, and it definitely recommended me that one. It was at the top of the list. And
It's
I was like,
good.
yeah, I remember you telling me about it, so.
Yeah, they actually did really good with that movie too. I think the movie.
Have you ever
was-
seen the movie?
I've seen stills from it, and it doesn't look that impressive in terms of effects, but
Well, no, it's not, but it's actually pretty good.
It stayed pretty
movie.
close to the book.
Yeah,
alright,
So-
that's always nice.
Yeah, they did really good with that one.
yeah, they did. There's a few of his that from book to movie they did really well, and
And then
did
there's some
really,
that do really terrible.
Yeah.
Yes, there are a couple
Dark
that
Tower.
I'm very
Tower.
The Dark Tower.
From
I will
what
never
I
ever
saw-
watch again.
Yeah.
I watched it. I bought it because it has to be with my Stephen King collection. By the way, I have a collection. I have most of his books and I have most of his movies. Read everything, but maybe 4 books or 5 books that he's put out. But yeah,
At one point, she's gonna make a shrine to him.
Yeah.
probably.
Dedicated room.
He's
to him.
my favorite writer.
He's
that
pretty good.
I love his works. There's a couple books that I tried to read that I didn't really care for.
Mm.
Didn't make it all the way through them. but for the most
You're
part,
always gonna have that, even with your favorite authors.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
gonna make
Oh, yeah.
things that you're just like, that wasn't that good.
absolutely. But there's a few that he's got that goes from book to screen that they really keep really close to everything that happened in the book. Obviously, there are certain little tidbits they got to leave out.
Well, obviously, because you can't always fit everything, especially with a lot of his books being pretty lengthy.
Yeah, the one thing that I was really worried about when they came out with the Dark Tower movie is because how do you fit
7
a
books.
7-book
books.
series
In one
into
movie.
into a 2-hour movie? And I don't even think it was a full 2 hour.
Yeah, I think it was.
It just
like an hour
really
45.
didn't do justice to the Dark Tower series, and I don't think I will ever watch it again. I really don't.
It'll
I
just gather
haven't
dust
even-
on your
I haven't even
I
tried
was
to watch
dreading
it.
watching it because I knew it wasn't going to be good,
Mhm.
and of course it wasn't.
Well, especially because, like, even in the previews, that's not Roland.
No, it's not Roland. It's
Because
not Roland.
Roland's like this, like, you know, Wild West kind of gunslinger,
who
baby blue eyes, and
Who he always reminded me of as I read the Dark Tower series is if you guys ever watched Clint Eastwood in any of his
Yeah.
westerns
Yes, that's
way
what I
back in
think
the
of.
day, that is the image that I get. And then they put
Idris
that,
Elba.
yes,
And you're just
into
like,
that
"Ah."
spot, and I'm just like, yeah,
well,
I don't
then
think that's
the
gonna
guy,
work.
yeah, the guy that they got to play him, he's like darker skinned.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Idris Elba.
Idris
And-
Elba.
And in Roland's world, there's not like really black people around. Like when Susanna shows up, everybody's like
Yeah.
shocked because she's a black lady in their world, and they're like, "Wow, we don't see black women in here," you know.
Mhm.
And a lot of people treat her differently because,
First of all, she's a woman. Second of all, because she is African American.
yeah.
So,
So
for
the
him
fact
to
that
be
the fact that
in
they
that role.
played him as a,
Yeah.
I was just like, that's
Like, just
completely
instantly,
wrong.
his casting is inaccurate to
Yes,
the book.
exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, we have like, that happens with a lot of movies. Like, one of the recent ones was Ghost in the Shell, where they
Oh,
cast
God.
Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah.
And everyone went crazy. It's like, I love her, she's amazing, she's beautiful, but it just didn't seem
Yeah.
fit. I never watched the movie because I just refused to.
I didn't
was like,
watch
it's
it
another
either.
I
movie
have
based
not
off an
seen it.
anime slash
Yeah.
manga, and it's like,
I've
those
heard
never go
of
wrong.
Ghost in
Yeah.
the Shell, but
Yeah.
I've never
So,
attempted to watch it.
mm.
I've never tried to watch any of the live animes.
No.
None of them.
Well, eventually I'm going to force you to watch the Death Note, because we're going to talk about that adaptation
Oh no, are
from
you
the comic
kidding
book
me?
to the movie.
Yeah, my husband was watching that, and I was like, I'm not watching this, and I went to bed. But he said he really liked it, but he never really got through the anime. So
See, and I watched all the anime, and I don't know if I want to watch the movie that they made of that. Because I like the anime, it was actually
Mhm.
really good. And I don't watch too many animes at all. I'm not a huge person to watch anime or read manga or anything like that, but I've seen that in Fullmetal Alchemist.
oh,
I watched the original
Great.
series first and then Brotherhood, and I liked them both, but I actually think I like the original better.
oh, I love Brotherhood.
I know, a lot of people do like Brotherhood better, but I did like the original better.
The only reason I want to eventually watch the Death Note live action is because it has William Dafoe in it.
Oh, does
I love
it?
him. Yeah.
I like Willem Dafoe.
So when I saw that and I saw that he was cast as the
Ryuk.
yeah,
Yeah.
I was
Oh,
like,
he
ooh,
is
baby.
Ryuk?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay,
And
maybe I
I
might
saw,
have to
like,
watch it.
So when it was being released, like, trailers were everywhere, and I saw one trailer and it showed one of his scenes, and the second he talks, I'm just like, that's amazing. It's amazing. It's
You know
like
that
I just want to watch his scenes.
Last I knew that was on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we'll have to definitely watch that. Just talk about it, even if we can't.
Eventually.
We're gonna
Yeah.
talk about it.
Eventually, yeah.
So yeah.
So what's new with any of you? Nothing?
Nothing.
Nothing?
I started watching Slasher. I don't know if I talked about that because you talked about how you watched Slasher and you told me to watch it.
Yeah.
And
I
started
got you
watching
to
it.
at least watch the first episode.
Yeah, I watched the first episode. So you watch season 2 and then season 1 just because of how it's arranged on Netflix. Is
Yeah.
when you click on it brings up the 2 seasons, but it's out of order because it goes in alphabetical order.
Yeah.
And the seasons, you said, aren't really connected, so I'm not bothered watching it in out of order. And yeah, we watched the first episode together. It was amazing. Watch it. And then I watched, I think, the next 2 episodes after that,
Yeah.
you, and I can't wait to finish it. It's so good.
Do you know who the killer is yet?
No.
No?
Like, I'm not going to say any spoilers, but I thought it was one guy, and then he got injured, and then the next scene it shows the killer going like full ham on stuff, and I was like, alright, it's not him. Because he would be too injured to do all this.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, there goes my conspiracy theory. So yeah.
I don't think there's really anything new with me. Like,
Have you watched Slasher?
no, I have not
Watch
started
Slasher.
watching Slasher.
It's on Netflix.
Actually, there's something that I've been wanting to watch and haven't been able because it wasn't on Netflix, but now I'm watching it on Hulu. So
Yeah, which one's that?
Lucifer.
Lucifer, I've
Oh,
heard it's
Lucifer's
amazing.
good.
It's actually,
Is it
I'm
really
like,
good?
yeah, I'm actually like, I don't know if I want to stop, but I need to go to sleep because I gotta work in the morning.
I think there's, what, 3 seasons out? for
I only
Lucifer?
watched, like, I think the first season all the way through.
Because I saw, like, on YouTube, it recommended me a video where it was talking about, like, Lucifer's true face or conspiracy or whatnot about it, and it said seasons 1 through 3. So, and it was posted a week ago, so I'm guessing it.
Yeah, I know they have a
3
few
seasons
seasons now. But
Mhm.
Yeah.
it's pretty good from what I've
So you've
watched.
watched it?
Just like the first season. I didn't go further than that.
So I was telling Lena the other day that you know who would have been really, really great in that role?
Hmm.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah.
I would have loved to have seen him play this part.
He's so
After watching Sherlock and seeing him in that, and then when we started watching this, I was like, oh, he'd have been
Have you
great.
seen Sherlock?
I watched, like, the first 30 minutes of episode 1, and I didn't finish it, but he's amazing.
Oh, he is.
You need to
He's
watch
great. You gotta watch
all of
the
them.
all of
I
it.
know, it's.
It was great.
Seasons is it now? I think it's like
Oh,
2 or
I don't know.
3.
I think it
With-
was.
And then it got canceled, so there's not more.
Yeah, no, there
Yeah.
isn't anymore. It got
Oh.
canceled.
Oh. And each episode's like 2.5 hours long, isn't it? Because each episode's basically a movie.
No, it's like an
It's
hour
an
long.
hour long because they didn't have like commercials for it.
Mm-hmm.
So.
So I'll have to watch that. There's a bunch I have to watch, and they're all long. So you would definitely recommend Lucifer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
How is the
Yes.
character of Lucifer in the show?
He's good, but I just
Yeah,
I
he's-
really think that Benedict Cumberbatch would have been great in that role because the way he played Sherlock with like how whacked out he was half of the time, he'd have been great in this role. But
Yeah.
the guy that does play Lucifer is pretty good.
From what I've seen, he
kinda-
looks like a beautiful man.
He does. I really like his little interest in the woman because
Yeah.
his powers don't work on her. So
Yeah.
he's just like
He's
fascinated by like this
Yeah.
woman, and he's like, I gotta do something. I gotta make my powers work on her.
yeah, because she's just like, yeah, whatever, you know, and usually he can sweet talk
Yeah.
pretty much and use his powers of
So what
persuasion.
even is the premise of Lucifer?
Lucifer went on vacation and he came to LA.
Yeah.
All right. That's all I need.
Yeah, he took a vacation from hell and went to LA.
Yeah.
All right. So that sounds like an interesting show. Just, I would love to have seen the guy who played Lucifer in Supernatural play Lucifer. Because I love him as Lucy in Supernatural.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
good.
I like who they had play
Mhm.
Lucifer.
He was so good.
He
Every time
plays
he's on screen,
in
I'm just like,
so much stuff. I mean, I was trying to find different things on Netflix to watch, and every time I started watching something, he'd pop up in it, and I'm like, dude does everything.
I know, because when I watched Supernatural, I had gone and watched Lost.
Yes,
Yeah,
And he,
Jacob
play,
in,
yeah, he
uh,
plays
Lost.
in Lost.
yeah, he plays in Lost. He plays in Being Human.
Yep, as the vampire master
Yes,
dude.
yeah.
And I loved him in that
I
too.
know. He played in the 4400.
Did he play that?
Mm-hmm. He played in a couple other ones. I can't quite think of the names yet.
He
right
did
now.
like one episode of Grey's Anatomy.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he shows up for like one episode. And then,
Mark Pellinegro, that's his
Yeah.
name.
Yes.
and then
Yes.
he plays in 13 Reasons Why. He's the
Never gonna watch that
father.
show.
Your mom.
I know.
Is watching
She's
it
been
like
watching
crazy.
it for like the past.
So every time I go in
week.
the living room, I'm like, okay, I guess I'm
Yeah, every
watching
time I go in
this.
the living room, no matter what time it is, if she's up, she's sitting there watching 13 Reasons Why, and I'm like, how are you not finished with this show yet? Like, come on.
Maybe she's rewatching.
She does that. Like, she multiple times she's restarted Game of Thrones. Like,
Yeah,
she'll
she's
watch
watched
it
that a
seasons like 1 through I think it's 7 now, and she'll watch all 7 seasons, and then be like, all right, episode 1, season 1, and she'll watch it again, and yeah. So I'm not going to be surprised if I find out she's rewatching 13 Reasons Why.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe that's why you always seem that she's always watching it
Mhm.
because she may be rewatching it a couple of times.
Yeah, and the one scene that I saw, it has the one lady from Grey's Anatomy who played his ex-wife, the doctor that she was in love with.
Oh, I didn't see her on there, so I don't know.
Because you watched further than me.
Well, I meant on 13 Reasons Why.
Yeah.
I haven't seen her on
She
there.
plays the mother, apparently.
Is that her?
I think that's her. That plays McDreamy's.
Yeah, I know what you're
Ex-wife,
talking about.
the
but-
redhead?
Yeah.
Yeah, she plays the
mother.
girl's mom.
I didn't know that. Doesn't
Yeah.
look like her.
Yeah, like the one time I actually sat out there and watched a little bit just because I was waiting for my food to cook. I sat down and she's on screen and she's like in a courtroom or something,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh, I know that lady. So, yeah,
I guess I just didn't make the connection.
apparently.
I don't know. I saw a few episodes of the first season when she was watching it, and then I saw
Mhm.
quite a bit of the second season because she was watching it. And so I was just like, it's okay, but it's not
Yeah, it's-
something I'm gonna go out of my way to watch.
I'm never gonna take my time to sit down and watch it. But if someone's watching it and I walk in, I'm not gonna tell them to turn it on. It's like, you watch what you watch, I'll just sit here
Yeah.
and watch it. But I'm never going to sit down on the couch alone and boot up 13 Reasons Why. Don't ask me to. I'm never just stop. So yeah, that's new.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, we're gonna do a couple questions that I had some people write down. So on this notepad here. So yeah, let's go with this one. What horror movie gave you nightmares,
Oh geez, I don't know.
if any?
You know what's really funny? When I was really, really young, you know what gave me nightmares?
What?
Pocahontas.
Pocahontas gave you nightmares?
I had a nightmare about trees like
Alice
running
in
into-
Wonderland.
Oh yeah,
That
it scared
one
the crap
scared
out of
the
me.
crap out of you.
Yeah, Pocahontas gave me nightmares.
I can't believe
About
Pocahontas
trees.
would give you nightmares
About
about
trees.
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 I
That's
know
ridiculous.
Alice in Wonderland scared you though, because
give me
when Alice was
nightmares,
no, but it scared you pretty bad when she was falling down the hole.
At the
Scared
very
you.
beginning.
Yeah, at the very beginning. She never. I could just pick the movie up and she'd start crying. So.
No movie ever gave you nightmares, but Pocahontas scared you. All right.
Yeah, I remember having the nightmare about trees coming after me in Austin when I was like, 4.
Yeah.
So yeah, Pocahontas gave me nightmares.
I'm dumbfounded, really,
Yeah.
about just learning that you were scared of Pocahontas.
Yeah.
Wow.
I can't think of a horror movie that's given me nightmares though. I remember like when I first watched Freddy vs. Jason, like I had a dream about Freddy, but like it wasn't a nightmare. Like we were buds and we were hanging
Yeah.
out.
So, recently I had a very weird dream that I woke up to. This wasn't last night, it was the night before it. And so in the dream I don't know what I was doing, but I was in like some warehouse or something, and Freddy showed up. And like I wasn't scared of him, I was like, yo, what's up? And he looked at me and he walked towards me, but he wasn't walking or running, he was prancing. He had his hand out like this, and he was coming at me like this, and I woke
Oh,
up
but
and I
doesn't
was
he
like,
do that?
"What?"
Doesn't he do that in one of his movies though? When he does it?
I don't know.
Oh, he's just so weird.
I just never remember Freddy prancing at someone with his hand outstretched like he was a fencer, and I was like, all right. And I woke up and I was like, Freddy just pranced at me. I don't know how to take that. So yeah, that was my weird dream for the
Oh
week.
my goodness.
Well, I don't know if anything's actually gave me nightmares, any movie,
Mhm.
but I know of obviously like Candyman freaked me out for a while.
Yeah,
But I don't think I actually had nightmares.
no,
from
never actually
anything.
had any nightmares.
No,
No.
no.
Alright.
From books maybe, but
From books maybe?
Yeah.
Like what books gave you nightmares?
I read Stephen King.
So all of them.
The one that creeped me out the most was it.
The book.
I actually, was it.
He's way more creepy in the book than any of the any of the
yes,
movies.
it was pretty creepy. I think my parents had bought that book for me when I was 16
Mhm.
for my birthday, and I like to read it at night before I go to bed.
Yeah. So you're
and
setting yourself up. for
Pretty much,
nightmares.
pretty much. Set yourself up for that. And it freaked me out. I don't think I had nightmares about that one particularly, but I know it freaked me out enough to where I slept with the light on for about a month.
Any books give you nightmares?
No.
No.
No. No. Well, maybe textbooks. But
She dreams biochemistry.
yes, that's what's going on right now is biochemistry. No, I actually, like, when I was in, like, physics, I used to freak out about physics, too. And I remember, like, dreaming about equations and, like, how to solve problems because I was so stressed out when I took physics. OChem was a little different because it's hard to study for OChem. You have to actually sit there and draw.
Mm.
But, like, yeah, biochemistry is probably going to start digging into my brain here soon.
So, I kind of have one of both. So, in terms of movies, obviously, when you watched it, and I was a kid, I walked in,
Because of the
saw
clown.
you watching it, and fucking Pennywise shows up, like, for a week. It was just clown central. So, I blame all those on you. And, this is going to be weird, but, so, years and years ago, in one of my English classes, we had to read Telltale Heart by Edgar Allan Poe.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, the night after we read that in class, I had a weird nightmare where I was in like a decrepit house, like it is in the book, and for some reason, my heart was under the planks, and I just couldn't get my heart back. It freaked me out.
Have you read The Black Cat?
No.
Oh, that
was
one's
good.
Is it?
Yeah.
I have all of his work.
Should give it to me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those were good. The Pendulum is probably my favorite.
I think we read that one.
Yeah, that one was really good.
Yeah, so I don't know why, just Telltale Heart made me think my heart was no longer with me. So, yeah, it was just a weird dream. Yeah.
That's funny.
Alright, let's do another question. Let's see. How about you pick one?
Okay. Is there a movie you find oddly predictable?
All of the Friday movies.
Yeah.
Because once you've seen one, you've seen them all.
Basically, like any,
Yeah.
it's very much a slasher, predictable film where it's like, oh, the character's going off and he's gonna die.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
I mean,
all of
as soon
those
as
are
you
oddly
see one on
predictable.
screen, it's like, yep, they're gonna die.
Mhm. Not to say the movies aren't bad. They're amazing. And I love them to death. But
The third one.
it is very part of a
The
predictable.
third one.
Just
That one's so good.
if you've only
Okay,
made
so
it
it
to
was
the-
supposed to be in 3D.
Yes, and I will
And
say that was very
the-
much a
the
take back where they
couple of
constantly
parts-
try to shove into 3D.
The couple of parts that actually looked like they were supposed to be 3D weren't even like horror parts.
Yeah.
It was a yo-yo coming into the
Mhm.
girl's face,
Yeah, that was very
and the popcorn.
ridiculous. But the one scene that I find atrocious in Friday the 13th Part 3, where they try to do 3D, is the one scene where he crushes the guy's head.
Yeah.
And number one, it just
Okay.
looks bad in general. Like the
It
effects
was
are
on
not
a
good.
spring.
Yeah, when he popped his eye out, like it came towards the camera,
You
and
could
it looked so
You
ridiculous.
could see the spring
Yeah.
behind that.
It's-
Oh
it's not
my
a good
gosh.
scene.
It was like so bad.
It's one of the most gruesome kills, like just imagining him squeezing a guy's head, but
But it
how they
just-
did it.
Yeah.
It's just, not good.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I already had that
That's
one
like the
written
one
down, too.
downside of the movie. That
I had
find.
that part written down, and
What about
but
you?
yeah, it was bad.
The Friday the 13th, obviously. They're
Obviously.
horrible. Trying to think if there's any that were really, really predictable. I felt like when I watched the second season of Slasher, like I could predict who was going to die
You mean
next.
the first season? Or the second
No,
season?
the second season, the first one I watched.
Alright.
The deaths weren't as predictable, like the way they died, but
Yeah.
I was like, this person's gonna
Yeah,
die
and like,
next.
even with me being 3 episodes in, you can predict when someone's gonna die. It's just the way they die is
Yeah.
gruesome.
Yeah, exactly. And it was just like, oh, I wasn't expecting the way they were going
Yeah.
to die, but it's like they go out into the snow to go find their friend. You're like, they're gonna die.
Yeah.
Any movie when they go out into the snow or the woods or something,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
automatically know they're going to die.
Mhm.
Yeah.
If it's a horror movie or a slasher movie, they're going to die.
Yeah. There was one scene in Slasher that I thought was going to go one way and went completely a different way. Was where I don't remember their names, but the guy and the girl go off in the woods to try to get back to the skis. And
Yeah, it was Susan and
Noah.
Noah.
Yeah, and they try to run away, and I was like, all right, so you're gonna run in there, get separated, both of you gonna die.
Yeah.
Nope, they both made it back somehow, and I
Yeah.
was like, the next scene when they get back, I was like, how are you two alive? Like how? In the middle of the night, in the middle of nowhere, where everything's snowed in, you ran off into the forest, and like there's one scene where they're talking about how they ran forever, and they're back at like a starting position, and he's like, we've been running in circles. I was like, so you've been running in circles, middle of the night. How are you not dead? How?
Yeah. I don't think the killer knew they were out there.
Yeah. What about you? Any specific predictabilities?
Phantasm was pretty predictable too.
Really?
Besides the little dwarfs and the slave.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was weird. But yeah, it was like they were gonna go to the mortuary and like look up like what was happening to these bodies, and it's like, well, what's gonna happen now? And I was like, okay, it was pretty predictable. Besides the fact that the tall man was shrinking the bodies and had this parallel universe, he was.
Alright.
I was like, okay, wasn't expecting that. That was really weird, but
You know, I don't know if anything specifically comes to mind, but I do know that as far as horror movies, and you can kind of, with any movie usually, I mean, there are some exceptions. The first Saw,
Yeah.
obviously, is a big exception to that because there was quite a twist at the
Yeah.
end. But most of them, usually, you can kind of predict, you know, where it's going to head, or maybe who's going to get killed, or, you know, how it's all going to turn out. So I don't think any one thing comes to mind on that.
Just the slasher genre in general is predictable.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
it is, because
It is.
all slasher movies very much follow that formula where it's like, let's take a group, every time one gets separated, kill them.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
And the biggest one for that they started was the Friday the 13th. So you I mean, because it's always teenage kids.
Yeah. And
You
they're
know,
always making dumb decisions.
Yeah, always
Yeah.
doing dumb decisions, always going off on their own. So, you know, obviously at that point, you know, okay, they're going to die.
Alright. Was there any plot twists that you saw coming in a horror movie?
plot twist. I'm trying.
Yeah, like the end of Saw where it's like, oh, he was, you know, there the entire time, except like you saw it coming, like you predicted it.
A lot of movies. I
Yeah.
can't really say specifically, but there's been a lot where it's like, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I could have figured it out.
Like even the slashers, like they have a huge plot twist, but like the second season, I had it half right, and
Yeah.
you'll understand that when you get there. But like I had it half right the entire time, even with the twist. But like the first season, yeah, I didn't have it, but so like I thought that one was, it was a pretty good plot twist. It really was, but I still kind of had it. So
What about you?
There's probably been quite a few that I've actually figured out before the end.
But none that you specifically remember.
You know, one that I do really remember, I think the ones I remember the most are the ones that I don't figure out by the end.
Yeah.
Obviously, Saw is the first one. The other one that I didn't figure out until the very end when they revealed it was The Others with
The
Nicole
Others.
Kidman.
I think I watched that one.
Oh,
You
haven't seen
have to watch that one. That one's crazy. We won't
I don't
give you
care
any
for
spoilers.
Nicole Kidman, really.
Huh?
Sad to say, I don't care for Nicole Kidman.
No, but this one
Nicole-
is really
Nicole.
good. This one is really good. You have to watch it. As far as twisted endings.
Mm-hmm.
So don't research.
Don't research.
Yeah.
Don't research because you don't want to spoil it for
Yeah.
yourself. And I won't say anything, but that one I did not figure out.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really kind of like, whoa, wow, I didn't figure this out. You know, I think
Yeah.
those are the ones that actually stand out in my mind more because it's like, oh, by that time, you know, it's like, oh, wow, this is cool because I couldn't figure it out. But those are the two movies that I couldn't figure out.
Alright,
So yeah, you gotta watch that one.
I will do.
You're gonna like it. I know you don't really care for Nicole Kidman, but she did really good in this movie. And the whole way it was laid out is so hard to guess.
Alright, I'll have to add that to the list.
Yeah,
You
you
got
got
a long
it.
list.
That's
You
gonna
know what?
be my
Actually,
saying
I
for the
think I
show is
have
add that
that
to the
one.
list.
I think I have that one.
Then I'll have to get.
I'm pretty sure I have the others.
Alright.
I'll have to give that one to you.
So the one plot twist that I saw coming, I can't really say because you guys haven't seen it. I want you to see it. It's Saw 7.
Oh, okay.
So the end of it, I think it's Saw 7? Yeah, because that was the one before Jigsaw.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
yeah, the end of it has a plot twist just like every other Saw movie, which is amazing. But the end of it has a reveal that like shocked a lot of people because it's like, oh my god, this explains so much throughout the entire thing. And like throughout the entire series, I was like, it wouldn't make sense unless this was the case. And then like when
Okay.
it revealed it, I was like, all right, yeah, I figured it out. It's one of those where if you really look at it in depth, you'll probably figure it out. So yeah, that was the one plot twist I saw coming. All right. Why don't you do the honors of picking a question? If you can't read that last one, I'm sorry. I will read it myself if you want.
Yeah, I can't read it. Oh, let's see. Maybe we'll do that one. What do you feel was the biggest horror movie flop?
Why don't you go first?
Me?
Yeah.
Horror movie flop as in like
Like
the movie was horrible?
the movie that came out and either was just terrible or did terrible at like the box office or whatnot.
The Village.
The Village.
The Village. Oh
Oh.
my gosh.
Ah,
I had
God,
forgot about
it's so
that
terrible.
one. Thank you.
It looked like the previews of it looked so good and so scary. I
Yeah.
went opening
Yeah.
opening day, and everybody who came out of that theater was pissed, and they're like, "We wasted our money on that." And everybody was pissed. I mean, everybody in the theater was yelling. They were so mad. It was horrible.
yeah. So I had always heard that The Village was terrible, and like, so I refrained from watching it, and then one day it was on, so I recorded it, and I watched it, and the first half I was like, oh, you know, I'm enjoying this movie, it's all right, you know,
it
I like
wasn't
the
too bad
premise.
at the beginning.
The back half of it, it
Wow,
It-
yeah.
Yeah.
terrible.
Yes.
Like, it's like, why
Yeah,
is this
the
happening?
first part of it's not too bad. You
Yeah.
can actually kind of get into the movie, but
Mhm.
then when you get to that second part of the movie, it's
Just
just
tanks.
like, what the heck?
Especially the plot twist. I mean, I feel like we're free to say it's an old movie, but
Yeah.
where it turns out that they're in like a little enclosure and it's modern
Yeah.
day. I was like, why? Why?
Well,
And it was
and the creature wasn't even
horrible.
real.
No, it was the
No.
special needs kid going
Yeah,
around.
running around.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was horrible.
It was so bad.
Yeah.
It's like I wanted to believe, like throughout the first half, like you're led to believe, oh, the monster's real. It's, you know, caging the people in, you know, blah blah blah. And I was like, oh, I want to believe that mythology. You know, I want to believe this is happening. And then like, it's just like, yeah, I know, it's all fake. You know, nothing real ever happened. And it's like, why? Why?
Yeah, it was horrible, and that's what like really turned me off from like M. Night Shyamalan.
You know,
And
I
I don't
love
like his stuff.
Signs.
Signs was
it was a great movie. I actually really loved that one.
The plot
But
twist makes no
anything
sense.
else that I've ever saw by M. Night Shyamalan is just so horrible.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I actually see something that comes out by him and I'm like,
Eh.
yeah, no. I don't
Yeah.
even.
He's very much one of those directors where it's like, it's hit or miss. And it always misses.
Yes.
No, he's missing.
He's had one.
It's like
you
He's
know,
a stormtrooper.
he has- yeah, and he's one of those stormtroopers that hits, 1 in every 10, but it's only a wing.
Yes.
It's not even a full hit.
Yeah. Yeah, because I love Signs.
Signs was a good
It was
movie.
a great movie.
It's a great alien movie. I loved it. And what's his name? Who played the main guy?
Mel Gibson.
Mel Gibson. I loved him in that movie. It was good. But
You know,
the plot
even
twist at the
Joaquin
end makes no
Phoenix
sense.
did a really
Yeah.
good job in that. And I don't really care for him as an actor. I loved his brother, but I don't really care for him as an actor, but I actually liked him in that one.
Yeah, the acting in the movie was pretty good. Like, some of the special effects were pretty
Yeah.
good. Like, when the alien reaches
The
under the door and cuts
suspense,
it off.
yeah, the suspense of that movie alone
Mhm.
and them being, I think what I liked about it the most is they're all cooped up in this house and there's things you can see,
Mhm.
happening on TV and this is the kind of thing, and but you don't know what's going on really because they're not venturing outside of their house.
Yeah.
So it gives that whole
Like, you feel like you're one of them, where it's like you're
right.
seeing all this stuff, but you don't
Right.
really know what's happening.
right, and it's like, okay, so is this real or is this not?
Yeah.
'Cause, I mean, they're like enclosed in there and they're wondering the same
Mhm.
thing, so you actually feel like you are part of that. So I like the way they did that.
Mhm.
I think that's what makes that movie really good.
The only thing I would say that detracts from the movie is if you look at the plot twist. So the plot twist is like at the end of the movie, spoiler alert, you find out that the aliens are weak to water when he splashes the water
Yes.
on them and it starts burning
Yes.
them. That makes no sense in actuality for the aliens to come to a planet that's 70% something that can kill them.
Yeah.
It's like, it makes no sense. It's like,
Yeah.
why would you do that?
Maybe because by this time they've exhausted any other planet that they can go to.
Sure, so it's like their last resort. It's like, well,
Their
might as
last
well go
resort.
to that.
Yeah.
It's like if we went to a planet that's 70% lava. It's like, why would we do that? And it's like the inhabitants there drink lava and they rely on lava. It's like, why would we go there?
Yeah.
Let's not.
But I mean, it could be to the point of where they've exhausted every other aspect of every other place of being able to
So it's
go.
kind of like they're forced to go there. It's like
Yeah.
I could see that if they explored it in like either a well done sequel or like a one shot off thing, but
But see, I don't know if that would be any good.
it probably would not be good. But I would just love to see that explained so that way I know it's like, all right, so now I can take the negative off of the plot twist.
Yeah.
So that's the one thing that drags the movie down for me.
Yeah. And yeah, I can see that, but I just really think it was done well because of the
Mhm.
fact that they put you in the place of you don't know what's going on outside in the real world.
Yeah.
They don't show a whole lot, and it's like they're guessing, you're guessing, and you're just
Mhm.
kind of the whole time going, okay, what's gonna happen now?
Yeah.
See, that's kind of how I felt when I watched, what was that? Not the Cloverfield, but the one.
See, I didn't like
The sequel.
Cloverfield.
10 Cloverfield Lane.
Thank you.
Oh yeah,
That one was good.
That one was done well too. That one was
Because-
done
Love that
kind of
one.
the same
I thought
way.
it was better than the first one.
Oh,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
Leagues better.
Definitely.
Especially the fact that it's I've mentioned it before where I love those movies where it's a small cast but it does good. Like the entire movie is 3 people.
Yeah, in like a little
Yeah.
bunker.
In a
and
bunker.
a little bunker, and yet it's good. Like the pacing feels good, the acting's
And then
good.
of course you have John Goodman.
and John Goodman.
That just
He was amazing in that movie. He was a bit of a creep, but
Yeah.
he
yeah,
did it so
he was.
well.
He did it so
Yes.
well, and I just love John Goodman so much. And he's a great actor, and then you throw him in a role like that, and you're like, wow, it makes it
Yeah.
even better because he can play different types of parts.
Yeah, he was so good at that crazy aspect.
Yeah,
Yes,
the
he
first
was.
time I ever watched the movie, I went and saw it with friends of mine, and I had never watched a trailer before that, so I had no idea what the movie was about or who was in it.
Okay.
And I just know it was a sequel to Cloverfield, and I enjoyed Cloverfield. Some people knock it on the found camera footage of it, and it is kind of dizzying, but it's still an alright movie. So I was like, they're making a sequel, it looks better, why not go see it? And the second he showed up, I was like, John Goodman is in this. Like when he walks in, I was like, what are you doing here? You're
See,
in
even
this.
before you were saying that, see if this would be my answer to the question that I just asked would be Cloverfield.
The first one?
Yeah, the first one. Yeah, that was gonna be my answer for that, even before we started talking about it. Because I didn't like it. Yeah, and I don't think it,
If
a
it
lot
was
of people
shot,
didn't like it. It just,
yeah, a
you
lot
know,
of people didn't like it because it was found footage style. So it, like a lot of
Yeah.
the movie, you can't
No,
really
yeah.
understand what's going on.
yeah, I can't
So,
see anything that's going on.
If it was shot in a normal way where it's not found footage,
But I think they did it kind of based off of like how they did the Blair Witch Project too,
Yeah.
which in that one too, I just don't really care for. I don't think it did good. I think everybody hyped it up to be something that it really wasn't. And then a lot of people were very disappointed by the time that came out.
That's always a problem when you have a horror movie that looks good, is if it gets too much hype and like you're too excited for it, and then
Yeah.
it's just an alright movie.
Yeah.
It's like if you went in there with no expectations, you probably would have liked the movie, but the fact that you were overhyped makes the movie terrible.
Yeah, that's true. That is very true.
You're talking about like the home footage kind of shot. There
Found
was
footage?
found footage, whatever you call it. I call it home video.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like to me. But that's because I used to watch the
America's Funniest Home Videos?
the old cartoon home videos. It was like an adult cartoon
Sure.
called Home Videos. Whatever. But the guy that does Bob's Burgers, the guy that does Bob and Archer, he also does the voice of the gym teacher in home videos.
Alright.
You know, watch more
I
adult TV. Child. Anyway, back to like the whole movie style is like Creep.
Creep.
That one was horrible. That was probably a huge movie flop for me because we went to a panel at Comic-Con, they had talked about Creep. And that was one of the ones that we had written down on our list that we needed to watch. And I had seen it pop up on Netflix, and it was horrible.
Really?
It was so bad. I was like, this is not worth it. The guy was so freaking weird. And so like the premise...
Well, I kind of got it in the name of the movie there.
Yeah, Creep.
Yeah.
The premise of it is the main character is hired by another guy to film him because he's gonna die of cancer soon, and
So
he wants
to be filmed.
he wants to be filmed so that his child can see him.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, but I guess that's all just a hoax. He's not dying of cancer. He doesn't have a child, but like during the entire time that he's filming this guy, he's just getting weirder and weirder. And to the point where like the guy's like, no, stay here tonight, no, stay here tonight. And so he actually drugs him to like try to leave.
Oh my god.
But then the guy wakes up and like goes to his home and like is actually videotaping him. And it's like he starts sending him like weird like gifts and like stalking him pretty much. And he's like trying to get the cops to do something. They're like, well, we can't do anything if he hasn't harmed you. And he's like, he's going to kill me. Like, he's like, I know it. I know he's going to do something. And so that's how it ends. Is
Alright.
he's got his camera and like he's like, I'm going to film this just in case something happens. And he puts it down in his car and walks off to the bench at the park where he's going to meet this guy to give him one last chance, right? Because he's a nice guy.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy comes up behind him with an axe and just right on his head. Yeah. And then like at the very end, you see the guy, the creep, adding it to his movie collection of all these people that he's killed.
Wow.
But he's so weird. So freaking weird. And I was like, I cannot get into this. Like, to me, that guy's an idiot for sticking around that long.
Yeah.
If he's acting like that weird, I've been like, nope, sorry, this money's not good enough. See ya.
Especially if like you're convinced he's gonna kill you. It's like, why do you stick around? I don't care how nice you are.
Yeah.
Leave.
But going back to the 10 Cloverfield Lane, that, I mean, you get John Goodman, like, acting all weird. And you're in a bunker, and it's supposed to be some kind of apocalypse outside.
Yeah, and it's like, you
where are you
can't
gonna
exactly
go?
And one of the things I love about that movie is John Goodman's character. He doesn't start off that creepy. Like he starts off like he
really
feels
nice
like
and,
you feel
yeah.
like he's legit trying to help you.
Yes.
And he kind of does. And then throughout the movie, he just gets weirder and weirder and creepy. And it just gets to the point where like, you're a psycho.
Yeah,
You're psycho.
when he shot the guy, I was.
Yeah.
I mean, I was like,
And then
literally
when-
went, oh my, what?
I expect him to shoot him so fast.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I took the scissors, and I was like, all right, you're dead now.
I know it
And then
shocked
stick
me.
them in the acid barrels.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa, okay.
Although I love the scene where she goes to escape and she kicks over the acid barrel and he falls in it. And after he gets up, he has like the half melted face. The effects look so good. Like he looks disgusting. Like when he's chasing her and half his face is melted, he's like, "Come back here!" You're like, ugh.
Right?
Yeah, no, that one was pretty good.
So what was your biggest flop, you think, for movies?
Biggest flop, I would say, the Nightmare on Elm Street remake. The one with Jackie Earle Haley. Yeah.
The prequel.
No, it was a remake.
It was a remake?
Yeah,
I
it was
remember
a full-on remake.
I remember I saw one of them in theaters that was supposed to be like called Nightmare or something. And it was like the prequel of like how he became Freddy.
I don't know.
But it didn't have Freddy Krueger or
Robert Englund.
Robert
Englund.
Englund in it, yeah. It had
No.
somebody else, but like it was like it totally threw off everything that we knew about Freddy.
Yeah, but in the remake, it has Nancy in it, but she's recast. It has her boyfriend in it, who was Johnny Depp in the original. He's
Yeah.
recast it. It's all the same
Really?
people. It's a
I didn't know they
full-on
remade
remake.
it. No,
Yeah,
I thought there
didn't
was
know
another
they
one.
remade it either.
Yeah,
Obviously, I mean, maybe it didn't go too well.
It was an all right movie. It's it feels like they tried too hard to make him too serious. Like he doesn't make any jokes in the movie, except for like at the end he makes one joke and it's like a throwaway line.
Well, maybe you would
Wait
like
a
it.
minute, wait a minute. I think
Yeah.
I do remember
Like,
seeing something on that one.
Where the opening that a lot of people remember is in the diner where he takes like the guy's dreaming and he stands up and in reality he has a steak knife to his own throat and he slits his own throat. Do you not remember that scene?
No.
No.
Yeah, that's how
I
the movie
haven't seen
opens.
it, but I think I remember like seeing a preview or something on the remake of it. But I mean, after that, I don't.
See, I had saw the
Never
one
thought of it again.
that was it was not Robert Englund, like it was a newer one. It was called Nightmare, I believe, and it was like these parents had found out that he's a pervert and taking
Yeah.
pictures of their kids and stuff, and they track him down to the warehouse where he's working and like burns
I
the
think
warehouse
that's actually
down.
one of the Nightmare on Elm Street.
That doesn't
it's
have
like
Robert
one
Englund.
of the sequels or something.
All the sequels in the original Nightmares have Robert Englund.
Yeah,
in it,
this one was done in like
Okay.
2000.
I guess it must have been like maybe like TV series or something. 'cause
No,
I
it was a
remember
movie.
it.
I saw it at the theaters.
It might have been the remake. I just don't remember it.
I don't know. It was that
'Cause,
bad.
Yeah, the remake it didn't go well. Like a lot of people didn't like it, and I don't even think it did that well in terms of box office. Yeah, that's what I would consider flop. Because I was excited when I saw that like they're remaking it. I was like, oh my god, I love Freddy, and they're bringing him to like a modern setting. And I watched it and I was like, wow, you did not do good, and
Yeah.
it wasn't that good. Like it could have been like the Friday the 13th remake, where it did really good at bringing him
See, I
into a
thought
modern
it
setting.
was. Yeah, I thought it was good.
Yeah.
The Friday the 13th remake. I thought it was pretty good.
And I was like excited because before those movies, I watched Freddy vs. Jason, and I was like, what if they reboot both series and reboot Freddy vs. Jason? And then after Nightmare did so well, I didn't think they were going to do anything. And then they remade Friday, so there's hope, maybe. But not to say that Jackie Earle Haley didn't do good as Freddy. He was creepy. It's just I wish the movie would have been written better.
Oh, okay.
Because he is amazing. He is terrifying. He's like I would rather encounter Robert Englund versus him. Because I was like Robert Englund's like oh, maybe I'll wake up before he kills me. He's like all right, 2 seconds into dreaming he kills me. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I'd say was a giant flop.
So I heard you say something about maybe a TV series. You know they have a Friday the 13th TV series.
Yeah.
Have you watched those?
I have not. Because
You have not?
I refuse.
So it's actually, it has nothing to do with Jason or anything.
That's exactly why I'm not going to watch it. Because it's like
It's
it's one of those
actually
series
kind
where
of
it's like
cool,
anthology,
though.
where it's more like
It's like-
exploring the universe rather than having his character in it.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with the characters, the character from Friday the 13th, but it's actually kind of cool. I've watched some of them.
Is it?
And it's basically just these, they're like collectors of like magical things. And they actually have to hunt them down, and they encounter like people that are really, really wanting to keep a hold of these items, so they'll kill for it, or these haunted type of items make people kill or give them. It's actually kind of, it's kind of weird, but I mean, it's good. I actually like it. You might want to just check out at least
give it a
one.
chance.
At least one, but it has no basis from Friday the 13th. It's just,
that's why I wasn't gonna watch it.
but it's actually pretty good.
Add it to your
Check it
long
out.
list.
Your
but-
long
Add to the
list.
list.
Yeah.
I know they did a couple seasons of that, but it was actually not too bad. They come across some weirdly, insanely haunted or magical items that they have to bring back to their place of business and keep them locked up or away from people.
Alright.
It's actually pretty cool.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah.
I'll definitely give it a chance. Alright. Let's do this one. The one that you guys can't read because my handwriting's terrible. So, if you had to be trapped in a horror movie, which ones would you pick and not pick? So basically, which horror movie do you think you could survive?
Not the Saws, that's for sure.
Not the Saws?
No.
You're not going to
No.
cut your arm off to get out of a trap.
No, that is not one that I would want to be trapped in ever.
What about you?
I'm thinking.
You're thinking?
I'm thinking.
So is there any horror movie that, like, if you had to pick one, that you would pick to be trapped in because you think you could survive it?
Friday the 13th.
Friday the
You just get in the car, drive away.
Plus,
Yeah.
you're going to be the type where it's like, all right, everyone stick together. Like, you would
Stick
tie
together.
people together.
Yeah, I would tie people together. I would find the biggest knife or axe or pitchfork or something. You know, yeah. Because it's always when you separate.
Yeah.
I think any zombie movie before they started running.
Yeah, before World War Z made them into these
So, like, the
ungodly
original,
fast
like,
creatures.
Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead,
Yeah,
you think you
yeah.
can survive those ones?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
They're slow.
They're slow,
Yeah, they're
like
slow.
they
They're
would
dumb.
be in actuality.
Shaun of the Dead.
Shaun of the
I
Dead.
could totally do that.
Yes.
Zombieland.
Yeah. No, they run in that one.
Oh, that's right. They did
Yeah.
run in that one.
Plus, I ain't going anywhere near that zombie clown. No. Did you, speaking of Shaun of the Dead, did you watch The World's End?
Yes.
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 Did you watch it?
What is
She
it?
doesn't like those movies.
You don't like those ones? Like Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz?
It's Hot Fuzz.
See? Did you like Shaun of the Dead?
It was okay.
See? Told you.
Yeah. And Shaun of the Dead's the best one out of the three. For me, it goes Shaun of the Dead, World's End, Hot Fuzz. Not to say they're not good. They're all amazing. If I had to rank them. Yeah, The World's End is so
There was a movie I watched. It's not a horror movie. It's actually a romance movie with Simon Pegg in it.
Oh yeah, you were telling me about
Oh
that.
my god, it was so good. I'm not a chick flick person, but I
But
love
you'll
that
watch
movie.
that one.
He was great. I can't remember the name of it though.
So is there any ones you would not want to be trapped in, specifically?
It.
It?
I
You
don't
don't
want
wanna
to face
go up
my
against
worst
Pennywise?
fears. Yeah.
He'll
What
come
about-
out as a Oken book.
yeah. Yeah. It would be kind of like that monster book from like Harry Potter where
Oh
it's got
yeah.
all
It
those
tries to kill you. That's gonna be the thumbnail where we all just went like this.
So, what about you?
I definitely not want to get trapped in the Nightmare series because I love sleep. I don't want sleep to go away. I love it too much. Like I'll sleep 13 hours a day. Why not?
You'd fall asleep in 10 seconds if you know
Yeah.
somebody was going to come in your dream and kill you.
Mm.
One that I think you would survive really, really well would be Stay Alive.
Oh, yes.
That's the video game one where they're playing the video game, and if you die in the video game,
That's how you die in real life.
Oh, yeah, I'd win.
yeah,
Yeah, I'd win.
yeah, I
I play
think you would
so
be.
many video games.
You ever watched that one?
but no,
It was
What?
I don't think I did.
It was actually based, kind
I may
of.
have-
It was
I may have
loosely
watched it. Who was
based.
in
The Frankie Muniz was in it.
What's that? Oh, yeah. I think I watched like half of it. And didn't
Yes,
finish.
but
It
like
was-
the video game is based off
Yeah.
of like Elizabeth Bathory.
Yeah, it was very, very loosely based off of Elizabeth Bathory.
Sure. Like I'm pretty sure I started
We
watching it.
need to
and
find
finished
him
it.
something on Elizabeth Bathory too, because I don't think he really knows who that is.
No.
Maybe he should have picked vampires instead of werewolves.
The werewolves are amazing. Yeah. So yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and wrap it up here. So yeah, hope you enjoyed doing. Listening to one of these talk shows. I know I enjoyed it. It's very nice to just sit down and relax. So we might do more of these in the future. Just cut in between every like few
Themed
ones. Like so next week we're gonna be doing a monsters episode where each of us went around and you heard us talking about like she was joking about that I should have picked vampires, but so we each picked a monster from horror culture, and we're going to do research and talk about what we found, basically like history, how it got into mainstream culture, what different variations in culture there is, and yeah. So I'm doing werewolves. So be ready for that. You're doing which one?
The Mummy.
And you're doing?
I'm doing zombies.
Yeah. So stick around for that and like, subscribe, click the links below. Keep going.